latest episode of I Don't Give a Shit What You Think. My name is Joel Eisenberg. Across the hall is my brother Mike Eisenberg. And today we're doing a podcast on the films of Mel Brooks. Now, I'll be honest with the watchers and listeners, the viewers and listeners out there. I've been a little conflicted about this podcast, and I tell you why. I think Mel Brooks is a comedy genius. I think there are very few in his league. I think he revolutionized both television with Get Smart. I think he revolutionized the film industry in certain ways. He's a genius. But Mel Brooks, as we used to say in Brooklyn, shot his load back in the 1970s as far as I'm concerned, and he hasn't been the same since. I'll get to that, and I'll get to exactly what I mean when we move forward. I'm going to let Mike take it over. Mike, take over.
I think you shot your load, and that's what the problem is. Anyways, the first movie we're going to do is Blazing Saddles.
Well, that's going to give you a smart comeback, but I figure we got to keep it clean, so we'll keep going.
So anyways, the first movie is Blazing Saddles. I have said this before. I think I said this on the Oscar broadcast that we did. I don't know why Harvey Korman was not nominated for Best Supporting Actor in this movie. He was hysterical. Basically, if people who don't know, the movie is about a politician basically who hires a black sheriff to ruin a town that's more or less already ruined. So there were 5 supporting nominations in this category back in 1974. 3 of them came from The Godfather Part 2. Robert De Niro, who won, Michael Gazzo, and Lee Strasberg, who I have no idea why Strasberg was nominated. Fred Astaire got nominated for The Towering Inferno, and Jeff Bridges got nominated for Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, which was a fair movie. So this is going to segue into the next movie I would like to do. I don't know why Harvey Korman could have bumped Fred Astaire off of Best Supporting Actor. He was amazing in this movie. Every single scene, every single line, very memorable. The movie was so quotable, and it was all had something to do with Harvey Korman's performance. Gene Wilder and Cleavon Little are great. Gene Wilder is great in anything that he does. Mel Brooks is fine, but this was Harvey Korman's movie to me. This movie was made in '74. This is Mel Brooks's most famous year of movies. He had this as a massive hit and Young Frankenstein as a massive hit, which I would like to segue into next. But I just found this to be my second favorite Mel Brooks movie, second or third I've ever seen. This movie was funny from start to go, and you can't make this movie today. I mean, it was such a racist movie half the times, half the things that they were saying, I won't repeat on the air, but it was such a ballsy movie to make in 1974 or 73, whenever he made it, and it came out in '74, but it was very ballsy. And that put him, I mean, the producers put him on the map, but that was like 7 years prior. But this movie brought him in to be like a comedic genius, like you said. So I'll hand it over to you right now to talk about Blazing Saddles.
Well, I'm going to go back to the producers for a minute, because the producers was also a huge hit, and it started his name basically in the film industry. He had Get Smart before. But the producers lampooned Hitler. It lampooned the Holocaust. It lampooned World War II. Springtime for Hitler in Germany was one of the most remarkable, funniest damn bits of film I've ever seen. When I saw the play, one of the versions of the play on Broadway,
with Nathan
I couldn't
Lane?
stop laughing. I had tears in my eyes. I bring that up because if he could lampoon Jewish people,
which is what he did.
That's what I'm talking about in Blazing Saddles.
Exactly what he did. He had this fascination.
The thing is, what he did is he took the N-word and he used it about 5,027 times. He beat Quentin Tarantino, and Quentin's strongest day using it.
Are we talking about Blazing Saddles, or
we're talking about Blazing Saddles?
Perfect.
But what it did is it made the cowboys, the white cowboys, look like absolute morons. Everybody was a caricature. By the way, just to get it out there, I love Blazing Saddles. I laughed my ass off. I laughed my ass off at the campfire scene. Cleavon Little to me was absolutely brilliant. But you could watch it today and you could say it's racist. And yeah, it had more than a share of racist jokes throughout, but it was done in such a way where, again, the white characters, specifically the white cowboys, looked like absolute schmucks.
Absolutely. And that's what he did purposely. I just want to look at one thing.
What I'm saying is, I don't have an issue with humor if it's used that broadly in this sense. They
I
did have
I
some.
haven't.
The only, in terms of being made today, it could be made independently today. It probably wouldn't be distributed by a studio unless the studio was brave enough to do it. It was a total lampoon. It was hilarious. I winced at the rape jokes. It's now 2026. So it's through 2026 eyes. And Mel Brooks repeated rape jokes in Robin Hood Men in Tights and so forth and so on. But I look at it again as a total lampoon. And
You can't take
I
it
laughed my
seriously.
ass off. I laughed my ass off throughout the whole thing.
Good. It was a great movie. You can't take this kind of movie seriously. It's a big giant lampoon. He makes fun of himself. It's a fantastic film. I think
He
Richard
always makes fun
Pryor.
of himself. He gets too much into the Jewish shtick, which we'll get into later on. That's a big issue I have
That's
with Mel
his
Brooks.
milieu. That's what he's been doing all his life.
That's a big issue I have with Mel Brooks, but we'll get into it later.
I don't know why. I think Richard Pryor, he wanted to do the Cleavon Little part. And I think Pryor had something to do with the co-writing or something. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I know Richard Pryor was behind something on this. Let me jump into the next movie, Young Frankenstein. So as I say, Harvey Korman should have been nominated for Best Supporting because there were 3 people in Godfather Part 2 that were nominated. I took Fred Astaire out. I would put Harvey Korman in. I would take Jeff Bridges out for a supporting nom for Thunderbolt and Lightfoot and put Marty Feldman in. I don't know if a lot of people know Marty Feldman.
I'll agree with that. I'll give you a standing ovation for that.
Thank you. Marty Feldman, if people don't know, he played Igor or Igor, however you want to pronounce it throughout the movie. And he was sensational. I watched this movie this morning. This movie is what, 52 years old? This movie holds up so well. This is Mel Brooks's homage to Frankenstein, shot it in black and white. The set pieces, the eerie atmospheric mood that this movie had. And for people who don't know what it's about, he plays the grandson of Dr. Frankenstein, and he was trying to prove basically that his grandfather wasn't insane, so he reanimated a dead body played by Peter Boyle, who I thought was hysterical. And I'm not a big Peter Boyle guy, but
if you only know Peter Boyle from Everybody Loves Raymond, you don't know Peter Boyle.
Everybody Loves Raymond. But Marty Feldman and Harvey Korman back to back for these 2 massive Mel Brooks movies that came out in 1974. Both should have been nominated for Best Supporting. Like I said, take Fred Astaire out for Towering Inferno, was no big deal. Take Jeff Bridges out, he was just not a big deal. These 2 could have slotted right on in. I swear to God, man, I have never laughed my ass off watching Marty Feldman. I just, every time he's on screen, I laugh my ass off. This guy is amazing. And it's a shame. He had a heart attack like 8 years later. He died like 49 years old. But people, if you haven't watched this movie, go back. This movie holds up very, very well. And this is Mel Brooks's, I watched the documentary on him this morning as well, the 99-year-old man. And he pays homage to Frankenstein. He grew up a big Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin fan, silent movie, black and white fan. So he always wanted to do a movie like that. And he paid tribute to Frankenstein with this movie. I highly recommend this. This is one of my top 10 movies in 1974. And seriously, Marty Feldman was sensational. And I challenge somebody to tell me that he wasn't.
Young Frankenstein is in my top 3 comedies of all time.
Yeah.
In no particular order: Duck Soup, The Marx Brothers; National Lampoon's Animal House by my buddy John Landis; and Young Frankenstein.
I wouldn't put Animal House up there, but it's okay.
What's that?
I wouldn't put Animal House up there. That just.
Oh, we're not talking about Animal House today, but I laughed.
Right.
I was crying watching Animal House.
Yeah, it's funny.
But the thing is, Young Frankenstein was Mel Brooks in PG mode. And as a fan, if I had this computer and I was able to show the room, I have a lot of classic Universal Studios monster movie memorabilia here. Kenneth Strickfaden did the lab in the original 1931 black and white Frankenstein.
Yep.
He did the same props for the new one, Young Frankenstein, when it was new back in 1974, shot in 1973. Young Frankenstein was genius. The scene with the blind man, Gene Hackman, and Peter Boyle as Frankenstein, based on a sequence from Bride of Frankenstein from 1935. Just hilarious. The tap dancing routine was hilarious. The whole movie acted, the performances, Madeline Kahn, Cloris Leachman, Frau Blucher. The horse, that was terrible horse imitation. But the thing is, it was just a hilarious movie that did not lean on shtick, Jewish shtick or
Right.
racial shtick.
Right.
So for me, at this point, producers, Blazing Saddles, and Young Frankenstein, 1, 2, and 3, Mel Brooks was in original mode. He was in edgy mode, and he got it done.
Yeah.
After this,
back in the 70s,
but we'll get into it.
Okay. Gene Wilder co-wrote that movie, by the way, and this was his idea, I believe. I think he brought it to Mel Brooks to do this kind of a movie. And Gene Hackman wanted to be in this movie so bad. I think he got paid scale just because he wanted to be in this movie. And he was great in the 3 minutes that he was in.
For those who know what I'm laughing at, the producer of the show is our other brother. He told me that was the worst horse imitation he had ever heard, and I couldn't do it.
Say that again? What?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll watch it in the video.
You're talking about Fabruca again?
Do the horse.
Horace Leachman, she's like a chameleon. If you ever like, here, we'll go to the next one. High Anxiety.
The whole cast was brilliant. It was an amazing movie, well performed by everybody.
Here, High Anxiety, 1977. He plays a psychiatrist.
Marty Feldman's hump always changed positions. First it was on the left, and it was on the right, then it was on the left, and it was on the right.
Right. Correct. Left.
Just forget, share.
High Anxiety, 1977. Here's another Cloris Leachman. She played Fabruca in Young Frankenstein. She was in this movie with the pointy boobs, and I just forgot her name. I'm drawing a blank for some reason.
So am I.
But what a funny movie. So I watched it again yesterday. And when this first came out, I was 10 years old, and I was like, okay, in my top 10. Then, other movies jumped in. Star Wars, Domino Principle with Gene Hackman and Mickey Rooney, and a lot of other movies started popping through. So it took High Anxiety off of my list. But it did, when I watched it yesterday, I said to myself, it's lost some of its luster. So he plays a psychiatrist who, where was I going with this? I'm losing my train of thought. And he plays a psychiatrist who gets hired to go into a mental institution. He plays a psychiatrist who's hired in a mental institution to figure out why the patients are the way they are. And in the middle of this whole thing, the doctors are probably even more crazier than the psychiatrists. And there's also a murder involved, and he's sort of the right in the middle of it. But one funny thing about this movie is that High Anxiety obviously is a tribute to
Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock, and you can just tell from the shower scene with the paper and the black ink running off the paper. I'm never going to tip that busboy, that guy again. By the way, do you know who that was? Dennis the bellhop. I want to give you a test right here. Do you know who that is? Barry Levinson, director.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I just found that out too. Barry Levinson, for people who don't know, I mean, he's done Rain Man, Wag the Dog, Wizard of Lies, Bugsy, Alto Nights. So he was a director in this. He was the bellhop in this movie, and he kept screaming. He was hysterical. That guy cracked me up. But I liked High Anxiety. I just found some of it. I think the humor, sort of like what you said, was going downhill a little bit with him. I think he tried too much in this movie. I still liked it. I just think he might have tried a little too hard to try to pander to the audience. I still like the movie, though, and I'm not giving up on this movie.
I don't think Mel Brooks had another good movie after Young Frankenstein, and I know I'm going to get slaughtered for that.
Boo, Joel.
Here's the thing. So High Anxiety was a tribute to Hitchcock, and Hitchcock was already self-aware. Hitchcock at times was a parody of Hitchcock himself.
Correct.
His films were brilliant.
I wish Hitchcock would have been in this movie.
What?
I wish Hitchcock would have made an appearance in this movie. He was still alive.
Mel Brooks tried too hard. The scene with the birds was okay.
Funny. That was funny.
That was probably the one scene that stood out for me, because he had a bunch of birds, basically a sequence from the birds that Mel Brooks shot for High Anxiety. The birds were shitting on his head as he was running through the park. Funny.
Yeah, I'm laughing.
Hilarious, but funny. I laughed. I snickered. But then he gets back into his Jewish shtick again. They had the airport scene with San Francisco Airport.
Joel has no sense of humor. Sorry.
What?
Joel has no sense of humor.
It's old.
but
He
it's
gets through
fun.
security by acting like a stereotypical Jewish old guy. Look, it's not the Jewish thing. I don't care about
But
the
he did that
Jewish.
purposely. But okay, go ahead. I know it bothers
Of
you,
course
but
he
go
did it
ahead.
purposely. He's Jewish. We're Jewish. We identify with this. We could laugh at it. We all laugh at this shit. But the thing is, it's repetitive. It wasn't funny anymore. Mel Brooks is doing his Jewish thing again. He did his Jewish thing in Blazing Saddles. He did his Jewish thing
He's
in Rob.
done that all his life. His whole entire career
And
was
it
Jewish.
gets fucking boring. It becomes the same. He's trying to reinvent a formula. Yeah, High Anxiety made me laugh maybe once, twice.
You got no sense of
That was
humor.
it.
This is a great movie. It's a fun movie.
There was nothing great about High Anxiety. When the movie came out, even the movie had middling reviews. Fans weren't really all that appreciative. It didn't get like repeat business
It
like the
ages
other ones
over time.
got.
Ages
It's
over time.
boring.
It ages
What?
over time. It ages over
It ages
time.
over time. Forget it. I didn't like it when I saw it the first time. I thought it was very boring. Keep
Okay,
going.
well, you don't like some certain humor. So I'm going to get to one that you didn't like that I liked was History of the World Part 1 that came out in 1981. Very quotable movie. Neil's our brother, guys. He's our producer, editor, etc. We quote this movie all the time. I quoted this movie with my friends. And by the way, I just want to give a huge shout out to one of my buddies, Joe Cerisi, because he did recommend that we do the Mel Brooks movies. And thanks, Joe. I'm glad we're doing this.
Sorry, not sorry for my opinion, Cerisi.
History of the World. Do you know who narrated that movie?
I don't remember.
Here's your quiz. No? Orson Welles.
Who?
Orson Welles
That's
was
right.
the narrator in this movie. So it covers like all the old, the Old Testament to the French Revolution and all the zaniness that happened in between the movies. And if you can tell, Joel, I am trying to just give a little short synopsis of all these movies, what they're about, just to maybe entice people to watch them. But to me, it was funny. And again, I watched that documentary, and there were a couple of reviews. It got slandered. This movie. I mean,
it got slaughtered when it came out.
What?
It got slaughtered when it came out.
It did, but then there were a couple of critics who I went when I was watching that documentary, and they went back on it and said, "Oh, okay, it's Mel Brooks doing Mel Brooks shtick," and then their minds twisted. So, did the movie age well? Maybe. It had a lot of funny scenes. Gregory Hines is great. A lot of Mel Brooks regulars were in there. Sid Caesar and his buddy. I don't know, was Carl Reiner in that movie? Because I don't remember for some reason. And that's like his best friend. But I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I'm trying to think if he was or not. It's a good question.
Yeah, I watched it again, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so History of the World Part 1. I didn't laugh. It started getting much too shticky for me. The Inquisition was fun. It was History of the World Part 1's answer to Springtime for Hitler and the producers. The thing with the commandments was fun, but he was really losing it at this point as far as I'm concerned. There was nothing really, everything was so forced. Everything was so obvious. Forced and obvious, and it's going to go into the next film, Spaceballs, that you want to start with. So let's go to Spaceballs. I have nothing more to say about History of the World.
Wow. You
have no sense of humor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get it.
I think you're forced. Anyways, all right, Spaceballs. So I didn't like Spaceballs. This is only the second time I've seen it. I saw it opening night when I was 20, so 39 years ago. So didn't like it. But the one thing about this movie, this is not a hateful parody of Star Wars. This was according to him, a fun parody. He asked Mel Brooks asked George Lucas if he could make this movie. And Lucas said, as long as you don't do any merchandise sales, I believe was the whole shtick behind it. And so instead of doing the merchandise sales, he sort of put it into the movie. There's a scene where, and come get your Spaceballs t-shirt and come get your Spaceballs fire launcher and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, but so it wasn't a hateful parody. But and then George Lucas did like the movie. And he allowed Mel Brooks to use his company, the Industrial Light and Magic, to do the special effects on this movie. I did read up on that a little bit, but I laughed only in 2 times. The end of the movie, or 3 times when they said you're a Jewish American princess or a Druish American princess because she's from Druidia. But I did laugh at the end when the Planet of the Apes were on there. When they saw this Spaceballs thing and they were talking in British accent. And then John Hurt made a little cameo in the
That was my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah, and the alien came out. He said, "Oh no, not again!" And then
that was the only scene in the movie I liked.
What?
That was the only scene in the movie I really liked. The Planet of the Apes thing was cool. But again, I was bored. It was all shtick. Yogurt.
Yeah,
Schwartz, may the Schwartz be with you. Come on, enough is enough is enough.
Bartholomew was the John Candy, the dog. But I did like with the alien when he put the little top hat on and the cane, he started singing "Hello,
I
my
laughed
TV,
at.
Hello, my darling."
And they got John Hurt back, and he was fantastic. So that made me laugh.
Good to get John Hurt.
Just comb the desert, so they take out a big comb. I mean,
but wait a minute. But then the black guys took out the little the Afro comb, whatever you call it, and we're combing the desert with their comb. It was funny. That part was funny. But the movie sucked. The movie overall was a bad movie.
And now it's going to become a TV series. So there you go.
It's going to be a big TV series, right? I know.
There's Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a series too. Let's just do. No, it's not a series. Spaceball. It's a movie coming out. Sequel's coming out in 2027.
Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein's a TV series. Bad.
So let's just do the last one. Robin Hood Men in Tights. That came out in 1993. It's just a spoof on all the Robin Hood movies, but not one redeeming quality in this movie. I hate Carrie Elways. I never liked Carrie Elways in any, except for Saw. That was the only movie I ever liked him in. But I don't. He's a stuffed shirt to me. I don't like him. I don't like anything he does. Patrick Stewart was in that movie.
Yeah, I do.
As King Richard. I thought that's the one thing I found very funny. Nothing redeeming about this film. I think at this point, his career was downhill at this point until he did Life Stinks. And then I think right after that, he did The Producers on Broadway. And then that brought him back up. But again, you were worried that people might not watch this video. But I always said there's a career resurgence right there. And they even said that on the documentary. He's got a career resurgence going on right now because of his documentary and Spaceballs 2 coming out. And the Young Frankenstein TV series. I think he's got a voiceover in a new animated movie coming out next year. He's still pushing at 99 years old. So
no, it's great. Look, I love Mel Brooks.
Holy shit!
I don't want to give the wrong impression. I want to end it on a positive note. And I hated Robin Hood Men in Tights. I didn't think it was funny at all. Dave Chappelle had his moments, but I didn't think it was funny at all.
I didn't care for that. That was his first movie.
Yeah, I know. But Mel Brooks for 99, and he's still going, and the 1,000-Year-Old Man and everything. He has classic all over him. But in terms of films, Young Frankenstein was his last really good film.
For you.
As far as I'm concerned, because everything else was shtick. Everything else is the same old shit in a different setting.
For you.
That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Very good. Well, on that note, if you like what you hear, please like, subscribe. Please leave comments. We are looking for comments. We are looking for people to hit us with anything. If there's any movies you'd like for us to review, Joel and I will go for it. Joel's always wrong, so just know that. And looking forward to hearing from you guys. Take care.
I don't give a shit what you think. Yeah, but that was a good place to put it, too. Next week, we're looking at doing something on splatter and slasher movies from the 70s and 80s.
If you guys have any suggestions, let us know.
We're going to go through the whole spectrum. We're going to talk about everything. I'm a big splatter and slasher movie fan.
Maybe you can we
are going to go, and Mike hates this idea, but we are going to go to Indian movies one day. I'm going to give him a list of 5 Indian movies we've got to watch. See that head? Great stuff like Jawan, Dhurandhar, Om Shanti Om. We're going to do it all. Blow your microphone later. We'll see you all next week.
If you guys got any suggestions for slasher movies, let us know as well. All right. Take care, guys. Thanks.
Peace out.